Welcome to Shoeman's Model Shop, and we're going to be starting a new project today, and that project is going to be the Back to the Future Delorean by Eaglemosss. Now, this is a kit, so basically a subscription kit. Every month you'll get new parts to build this, and I'm looking forward to it. It's got lights, the doors open, has the interior, and the replica engine. Should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to building this. I kind of really like this car. It's kind of a neat one. I've built styrene models of this before, so I'm really looking forward to this one, and it should be a fun build. So let's get started. So we're going to be getting started with book 1, or actually issue 1, and let me just take you over what you do. Basically, again, like I said, you get the parts, you get an issue, and what's in the issue is it'll show you what parts. So really, this can be done by anybody. It's pre-painted. You put in the screws. It's some snap together stuff. So really, anybody can put this together. The electronics are all just kind of a plug and play. So if you really dig this car, this might be a way to go to build one. It is 1/8 scale, so it's going to be a pretty good size. So again, we start with the parts that you're going to build. Then it shows you how the parts fit together, just step 1, step 2. And then what I really like about these is there's always something in here that tells you about the movie, in this case the movie, how it came together, how they decided on the car. One of the funny things about this is that it was originally supposed to be I guess a lead-lined freezer as the time travel device, but according to the book here, they were having troubles figuring out how they were going to get it from place to place without having to have like forklifts and stuff to put it in another vehicle, so they went with a car. And then what it'll do is it kind of gives you information about the actors, actresses in the movie, and then it'll show you what parts are going to come in next month or in the next video. So let's start building. Now here's the parts for book 1, and you can see they're nicely packaged. It does come with a screwdriver, which is magnetic. I have found when I build these that a lot of times the screwdriver they include is too big for the screws, so I may end up using a smaller set of screws, but we'll see how this goes. So I want to talk briefly about the parts. This is a combination of die-cast metal and plastic, so again, this car will be heavy because this part is metal. Like I said, it's pre-painted, so you don't have to paint it, and it's heavy. But then we have the plastic parts, which are nice, and we'll make it light. Another little neat thing here is we have the license plates, out-of-time license plates. Now, there are some third-party parts you can buy. Like, for instance, you can buy the license plate with the barcode like in the second movie. I believe this issue also will eventually come with the Mr. Fusion, so you could kind of design the car for the first movie or the second movie. You can buy aftermarket parts to turn it into the car for the third movie. Right now we're just going to go with the first movie, and so we won't, and I don't know if I'll be buying the aftermarket parts. Buckman's Model Mania had mentioned that when they come to the carpet, they don't have carpet in there. And so he did his own carpet. He didn't like how that came out. So I might buy the carpet pieces, but we'll see when we get to that point. Also, another thing is that here's the screws that you'll use. There's going to be a lot of screws. So what I did is I went ahead and I picked up a little tiny screw box off of Amazon. It's nice because it has the stickers. So we'll be able to keep track of all our screws. And again, so here's some more of the plastic parts for the lights. So let's get building. So the first thing we're going to be doing, we're going to be putting together the rear bumper. Again, this is metal, this is plastic, and we're going to take this part here, and you're just following the instructions. It goes So that snaps into place. And then we're going to take 4 BP screws. And we'll use them to screw this into place. Again, that's why this is really, like I said, if you're really into this car and this kit, this is kind of the neat way to do it, because you know, I would say the skill level is small. I mean, you know, if you can do what I'm doing, then you can certainly put this car together. Okay, and then there we go. That part is done. And one of the things I'll also mention is that what we're going to have like little parts here and there. So what you might want to do is get, like I always get kind of Ziploc bags, and I put the parts in the Ziploc so that they don't get lost and they don't get marred up. And then I'll put them in a bigger box, like keep them separate. So again, that's all that part was. It's easy. Screws. And the next part we're going to do is we're going to be, so we'll set this aside, is we're going to be building the lights. So we're going to need this part, which is plastic, and we're going to need the light frames, which is this one here, this one, and this part. And again, they're all labeled on the instructions, and then you can kind of refer back to the front part of the book to show you what parts you need. So we'll turn this over, and we put them into the corresponding places. They just kind of snap in. So let's go ahead. Use a screwdriver to kind of push it down in there. Go. Push that in, and then this one. And there we have the lights. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this part and we're going to add the light to it. So let's do that. And what we're going to do is this one gets slotted in. There's a little slot here, and you set that in the slot. So we have it snapped into place. And what we'll do is we'll take another BP screw, and it will go here. So we'll get the screw tightened in there. Now, you don't want to be careful. You want to over tighten it because some of these are plastic parts and they can break and the screws can strip. But just get it tight, and then what do we have? Like I said, eventually there will be LEDs that go in there, and that will light those up. And let's see what's next. Then next we're going to work on the license plate. So let's set this guy to the side here. And we have a couple of stickers that will go on the plates. Those are tiny stickers. So what I needed to do was I got my little pair of tweezers here because these were pretty small, but we've got them in place, and there we go. Then next what we're going to do is we're going to be attaching the license plate to this part here. Again, this is, like I said, pretty simple. Just follow the directions. Next, we're going to be using, on these we're going to be using AP screws. Okay, so we're going to be taking the AP screws, and they screw right here in the back in these two holes here. Okay, and then that part is complete. You have the license plate. Okay, next we're going to attach the license plate holder clip into the lip. So we have this part here, and that goes. That fits in like so, and then we're going to use two other AP screws. Next. Now, just a little tip that I do, when I put in screws, I don't tighten everything really tight on each one. I'll just get it started, and then I'll go ahead and tighten it later, because a lot of time when you're working with plastics, You can warp the plastic if it's too tight. So if you tighten down this end, this could warp this side. So that way it just kind of keeps everything nice and even. Okay, make sure it's all tight. And that completes that stage. And then next we're going to apply the bumper. So we're going to take the bumper, the Delorean. So I always thought it should be like maybe gold or silver or something to kind of match the car and not be so muted down, but that is basically going to go into here. So we're taking this part and it snaps, and you can see the lugs here, and it'll snap into place. And so again, remember I said there's some screws, there's some snap, and so that's the bumper. And I believe that is it. That's it for book 1, part 1. So again, we'll be back with book 2 here. And like I said, so you can see how this is pretty easy to put together. Take your time, read the instructions. Don't get kind of thrown off by the fact that things don't quite make sense. Again, we did one side but not the other. This side here could actually end up being like book 5 part 12, so it doesn't always make sense in the building process, especially if you're very linear and say this should all come together. But again, a few simple tools, a pair of tweezers will be helpful, and a little place to hold the screws, and again a little bag, because all these things are separate. I don't know what will, you could kind of go, okay, well, let's see how this fits in. It'll fit in right there, and a little bag to put everything in. So that's the end of book 1. We'll get ready to do book 2. Well, we are back with book 2, or issue 2, and what we're working on is the frame. And again, this is a metal part. It's nice and heavy, die cast. Looks like we'll be building the other rear light and some trim. So to get started with that, we're going to take the part 1 here, and we're going to add this trim, and it fits right in there. And then we will take a couple of AP screws, put that back in. Okay, and the next step is to take this and get a couple more AP screws here ready to go. Then we take the small trim, fit in there, and there is, looks like we just have the 1A piece screw on this one. So I've got that screwed in, and there we go. And next we'll be doing some more work on the bumper. So we're going to be installing the license plate there. So pop that out. And we'll be working again with the other tail light. And it was the same process as before. We're going to need a couple of BP screws. Let's put these back in here. Oops. And another BP screw. And basically we're just repeating what we did on the last one. Whoops. Both lights in place. Kind of neat. Then our next step here is we're going to take the license plate section. I'm going to pop that right in place and see where it goes. And then here we're going to use AP screws. And those are going to go right in here. Yeah, we gotta get those good tightening. And there we are. So that rear bumper looks like it's pretty much complete. I think that is the last step. Yep. So that is the last step for Book 2 or Volume 2. So this is what we've got so far. Is the bumper and the front panel. So that's it for this set. I believe, like other ones, it'll be 2 books per set. So we'll be back with the next books probably sometime next month. So thank you for watching.